If you were like me as a kid in the 1980s and you wanted all the cool stuff all the time, but your parents actually hated you, or maybe we were just poor and they didn't want to get you all the cool stuff all the time, like G.I. Joe vehicles or extra Transformers, they would get you these Fisher Price Construct sets. Because I couldn't afford, and my parents weren't interested in buying me all the vehicles I wanted. So they went, oh gosh, that's a problem. That's supposed to be inside of here. We would find these neat, super neat Construct sets. And today, Rob Ross at Toys R Us LLC, I want to talk to you about the coolest toy line from the 1980s that most people have never even heard of. Fisher Price Construx. So, and I wasn't kidding. When I was a kid, we really didn't have a whole lot. And my parents really didn't feel like springing for G.I. Joe vehicles very often. But these were often on clearance at places, and so they would buy these sets from me. I had this exact same set as a kid. I actually had this cutout and hung it on my wall for years. And these were sets, check it out, all these different pieces here. A lot of them were mechanized. You could put motors in them. You had, treads. You had all these. Construx was the best thing in the world if you couldn't afford extra vehicles for the toys you had, because you could cheaply make your own vehicles and you could switch them up. I often tell a story about how I wanted the Brave Star pistol so bad. The Marshall Brave Star. Eyes of the hawk, strength of the bear, speed of the puma. Well, my parents were not trying to buy me that Brave Star pistol, so I actually made one custom out of Construx as a kid that I carried around with me everywhere. As an adult, I just about forgotten about Construx, and this is actually funny because this exact set here, not just like a replica, this exact specific one here, we were at a toy show in St. Louis, and when there was a guy up there who had this on one of his tables, and he's like, this is 100% complete, it had 110 bucks on it. Now, I know how to use eBay, and I know how to check to see if things are complete. I know how to do price comparisons, and I buy and sell toys for a living, so I know what I'm doing. I am also like medically stupid. And so I didn't even ask. I was so excited to see this, I immediately gave him the $110, and I was like, this is amazing. Unfortunately for me as a consumer and as a person who knows better, not only was the set not complete, it was definitely not worth $110. But here's the deal. I didn't care. I was super happy about it. So you're probably like, why are you bringing this Construct set that you got from the store that you were super happy about to sell? Because I found one of these sealed with the original wrap and everything still sealed. And I bring the one that I no longer have in my collection anymore in mint condition box, still sealed. The cellophane is still covering this part here. And that's the one I wanted in my collection, because I'm not building stuff with Construx anymore. I am now getting them for collector reasons. So we actually found a couple of different sets out and about, and we've put every one of these together and we have completed them. Some of them have their instructions. My favorite Construx when I was a kid were the ones that glowed in the dark, because you could actually build these little spaceships in your room at night. And I remember having stuff on my dresser. And then there are Construx sets that have little motors, so you can working cranes and working engines and stuff. Fisher Price Construx, one of the coolest things in my childhood. Now, I will say this. When my daughter was younger, and any of you all who have daughters may know this is a thing about them, they want everything all the time. So, Miss Carrie back over there playing with the dog. That's just normal here, all right? We like to play with the dog. So, just ignore the sweet little great-grandma in the background playing with the dog. So, that's what we do here. Everybody plays with the dog. Leia, come here. Come here. You want to say hi? Come on. Come here. Come on. Oh, gosh. You're so happy to be involved in the videos. So happy. Yes, this is Princess Leia. She is our shop dog and our mascot, and she will tell everyone with her big sad eyes how she never gets petted here, and she never gets fed here. So everybody wants to pet her and feed her because she looks so sad. Good girl, good girl. She's a good girl. So come on over here and we'll get this angle. So when my daughter, like every other daughter in the entire world, wanted everything all the time, I saw this Construct set several years ago, and she was like, what is that, Daddy? So we opened it up, and that's when I realized it wasn't complete, and some of the rubber for the tires had like melted together. I did mention I'm stupid, right? I didn't even look at it. I was so excited because I saw that box, didn't matter. So we decided to buy every piece of Construx that we could find from all over the place. So anytime we went anywhere, we bought Construx. There's about 60 pounds of Construx here we're getting ready to put into the store. Because my daughter's now at that, I'm about to turn 16 years old. The only wheels that I want in my life have an actual motor and power steering, So we used to build these massive projects, and we would build like weapons, or we would build forts and all kinds of stuff with these. So we had a blast. So my question is, I can't be the only person out here that likes some more of the obscure 80s toy lines. What's something that you really liked as a kid that most people may not know exists, or that you haven't seen in a whole lot of years? Like I said, literally just at a toy show saw this, and it reminded me of being a kid, living in the mountains of Virginia, and being outside with the camo colored stuff and driving my Construx vehicles with my G.I. Joes in it, and it just took me back to that place. So you tell me, what are some toy lines or a toy line that you specifically remember loving that you never hear anybody talk about or you never see anywhere? Thanks. Have a good weekend.